All right, we'll move ahead to our next guest, the former UFC lightweight champion of the world. Happy to be joined by Frankie Edgar. Good to see you. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
Doing great. You got the quarantine beard looking strong right now, Frank. I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen you with the beard, at least like that, throughout your career. Is this a new thing for you?
It's just something to keep me occupied in this quarantine. I keep saying I'm going to cut it when the quarantine's over, but I don't see an end in sight. So I'm going to have to reassess the situation in a couple of weeks here and see what we're going to do.
So how many weeks of work has this beard been so far?
Yeah, I'm like 6 or 7 weeks in. 7 weeks growing this thing. So it's a minute for me.
Do you enjoy it? Because I feel like you look like a different person almost. Like you look scary. You look like a ferocious man with that beard.
You know what? Maybe I should keep it. I need all the help I get, man. I'm not the guy to begin with, so.
Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time. First things first, how are you and the family holding up during this crazy time in the world, the coronavirus pandemic? How's everybody doing?
We're doing okay. Just staying in for the most part. I'm training, in my basement. I'm training with one other friend of mine. We said we got ourselves in a monogamous relationship, and only me and him could train. So at least I got one guy I could work out with. But other than that, I'm in my basement or in my gym by myself. So, homeschooling the kids, all that stuff is it's an experience. So we'll keep it at that.
Did I see on Tuesday you posted about a tornado or something tornado-ish hitting your house? What happened there?
Yeah. Yesterday afternoon, actually. We didn't know a tornado was coming. We knew a thunderstorm was coming. I'll go for a bike ride with my kids before it came. I'm outside taking the garbage out, and all of a sudden it starts whipping up. And I actually posted a video on my Instagram, so it's on there. But from like the ring camp, but yeah, it was. My roof I probably need to get a new roof. I have a window broken. In my neighborhood, there's trees down like crazy. Probably worse than Sandy as far as trees went down, at least in my neighborhood.
Wow. Is everybody okay?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's safe, just some damage. I don't know if everyone in my neighborhood got out with, safely. I'm assuming they did, but I know damage definitely a lot.
I think I've seen one tornado land here in Massachusetts across the street from where I used to live. And I've seen a couple from a distance visiting family down south, but to see one in the Northeast, that's super rare, right? Like, have you ever seen a tornado before Tuesday?
Yeah. No, this is the first time I've ever been in a hurricane or a tornado, rather. I don't know. I mean, I'm calling it a tornado. Maybe it was a friggin' gale wind or something, but it felt like a tornado. It felt like a movie, dude. I heard it coming for like 30 seconds, and I almost didn't know what it was. I thought the rain was coming. I'm like, is that rain? And then when it started getting closer and closer, that buzzing was it was like a movie. It really was wild.
It's crazy. In terms of your fighting career, the last time we saw you compete was in December against the Korean Zombie, and you took the fight on, at least opponent-wise and weight class-wise, short notice because you were scheduled to fight Corey Sandhagen a month later. You've been in so many different scenarios in your career, Frankie. What did you take away from that fight with Korean Zombie in Busan?
I took the opportunity. I don't regret taking the opportunity. Looking back, and that always sucks, and you just can't go back and change those things. But I stacked the cards against myself more so than usual, going out there, distance, to a foreign country, all that stuff. I think what I learned is this next time around, I want to kind of put the ball in my court and make sure it's a favorable situation for myself. Not so much, going in the enemy's territory and short notice and all that stuff.
By the way, did you happen to see Korean Zombie's video about how fighters can cheat at weigh-ins? Did you see that at all?
No, Gray's past. Yeah, I seen something like that. I didn't really watch it though, honestly.
Yeah, so basically what he did, it was like him and a fellow fighter. They did this video where they literally walk through every cheating scenario that they've ever seen at weigh-ins. Some things that I've seen before, like the towel thing. Some things I'd never seen before, like the finger on the back. And they went through like all these different things. So that leads me to believe, like, is there anything that you've seen at weigh-ins over the years that people should watch out for that maybe fans and other fighters may not be aware of?
The only thing I see back in where my buddy weighed in and his friend of ours stayed behind him and kind of lift up his butt cheek for him a little bit to kind of make him lighter. I don't think that's possible. UFC events guys are not so close to you. They shouldn't be so close to where they can grab you. So as far as in the UFC, I don't really know. I don't have to cheat or find ways to cheat. I never the lights part of the scale like they always try to do.
So your plan was to head down to 35 for your next fight to fight Sandhagen. I assume that's still the plan moving forward.
Yes, that's the plan. 35. I don't know who I'm gonna get matched up with, but so someone along those lines, and we'll see. I wanted to fight in June before this all went down, and now I see that May 9th is scheduled tentatively, and I guess we'll see what happens once the ball gets rolling. I would like to get in there, probably typically, ideally.
Have you already started to like change the diet and things like that in preparation for that eventual cut to 35, or are you going to wait until, something's pen to paper, you got something in the books? Because, this is a tough time to be thinking about dropping weight. I know I've tried and have failed miserably at this point.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the ideal time to be worrying about weight and, not having access to all the amenities and whatnot. But, when I decided this past summer I was going to go down to 35, I kind of tricked my mind to not get over 60. And I'm pretty much there. I probably walk around 57, without really trying hard. So, I got my weight in the right direction to begin with. And, a date in mind, I'll get all hooked up with nutritionists and really get it zeroed in.
How do you sort of look at the UFC moving forward right now? Because obviously you're a fighter and you've never said no to a fight. And obviously this is a different time now than we've seen in the past, but you're wearing a lot of different hats. You're not just a fighter, your father, your husband, your family man, your training partner, all these different things. If the UFC said like, Frankie, man, we need you for like May 23rd or something, would you have a hard time taking a fight right now? Or would you need to wait a little bit? Or are you ready to just jump right in there at this point?
Like I said, based on my last fight, I don't want to jump and take anything short notice, really. I want to have a proper camp to prepare and all that stuff. Always a game guy. And if the situation is tempting for myself, then of course I'll think about it. Not want to say like I'm disregard. Obviously health and safety have to be in concern for involved. I'm not trying to disregard this whole pandemic and whatnot, but I'm an athlete and I want to compete. I mean, this is what I've been doing my whole life, so that's what I want to get back to, regardless of what's going on.
35 is super interesting right now. It's just a loaded division. Everybody in the top like 25 to 30 is somebody to keep an eye on, or is right there. How excited are you to just be a part of this division and start mixing it up with some of these guys?
Yeah, it's cool. It's just like another extension of my career. Spent half my career at lightweight and then the other half at 45. So I get a new set of toys to play with. You know what I mean? And a lot of new interesting matchups, and that I could possibly match up with.
How do you feel about the matchmaking up the top these days? We're going to see Cejudo Aldo. Now we're going to see Cejudo Cruz, who's coming back after a 3+ year layoff. A very interesting fight on paper, no doubt about that. But what are your thoughts on the matchmaking in this new division of yours?
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. Not so much just my division. I think kind of all divisions. Guys are getting title shots off, not one, but 2 losses here and there, or guys coming from, 4-year layoff getting a title shot. So you really don't know what's going to happen. I get why they're doing it. They want to put popular guys in. Dominic Cruz is one of the most guys at 35. He may be the best champion we had at that weight so far. So, I could see why they're pushing him along, but I could also see how some other guys might be frustrated by that.
Speaking of champions, a little over 10 years ago, we were actually talking about this off air as well. You became the UFC lightweight champion. Like, you beat BJ Penn in Abu Dhabi, UFC 112, an amazing achievement and accomplishment for you, obviously. I remember watching that fight with my buddies in this tiny apartment. It was just a crazy night. And I remember being a fan of the sport. It was like just when I was getting in my fan, I was so happy. But 10 years ago, you made a dream come true. Do you still remember that night vividly and hearing the "and new" like it was yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. That's that one will stick in my memory, right in the forefront forever. I always talk about my wrestling career and kind of always coming in second and getting so close to my goal and not achieving it. So that night, being able to achieve that, become the best in the world and hearing and new is something I'll never forget.
I mean, the first time is obviously something very special, but let's just say you jump into this bantamweight division, you go through these contenders and you capture that second title in a second weight class. Any chance that trumps the first one, or will the first one always remain up top on that pedestal?
We're going to have to wait and see. I'm going to have to wait and give you that answer.
Last thing, Frankie, I appreciate the time very much. People are starting to lose their minds with this quarantine right now, and you're staying as busy as you can. But people are just looking for something new to grab at, a book, a new show, a movie. What's the answer? Pun fully intended, Frankie, for those folks. Any book recommendations, anything that we should check out and read to better improve ourselves during this crazy time?
I read the book, The Outsider. It's a series on HBO. My buddy told me to watch it, but I read the book instead. Stephen King, I ripped it in like a week. It's like a 500-page book, but ain't shit to do. I ripped that book. It's pretty good. It follows along the series pretty closely too. So that's not a bad pick right there.
I'll have to check that out for sure. Great stuff, Frankie. I really appreciate you coming on. I've been covering the sport for a little over 5 years now, and this is the first time we've been able to chat. So it means a lot. Anything else you want to get off your chest, let the folks know about before we let you go?
No, hey, check out my podcast, Champ and the Tramp. It's me and Roger Matthews. We have a new episode every week. So I've been doing that in my basement. I'm actually here in the podcast room as we speak. So check us out.
How are you enjoying being on that side of the podcasting microphone? You enjoying the host seat a little bit?
I am. It's fun. It's with my buddy right now. We've had a couple guests, guys that I mostly train with or hang out with. So, we're just getting our feet wet, having fun with it, and see what we can make of it.
How far do you think this thing can go? Like, do you have are you just kind of winging it right now, or do you sort of have certain goals, aspirations, steps you want to take to make it even bigger?
Honestly, I'm just winging it right now, I guess. We're trying to stay consistent and just trying to have fun, make it fun. Because if it doesn't make money, at least I get to sit in my basement and bullshit with my buddies a couple nights a week.
Perfect way to look at it. Thanks again, Frankie. Stay healthy and safe. Hopefully we can do this again soon. Maybe before your bantamweight debut. I appreciate the time, man.
Absolutely, you got it, brother. Take care.